Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I am Adam Riancho. Today is Thursday, March 5th, 4:20 p.m. Let us begin today's live stream. All right. Feels good to be back and definitely smoking at 4:20. I think this is my preferred ideal start time for the live stream. Feels appropriate, feels ideal. A reminder for new customers, I doubt if anyone's watching at this moment. They are not on Underdog already, but perhaps if you're pulling up the replay after it's finally posted, promo code BLUNT for new customers. This code on sign up, the link in the description, gets you $75 in bonus entries after you play your first 5. Promo code BLUNT, the link is in the description. So that is out of the way. No need for that. We can pull up the music now. And the news of the day is 100% the DJ Moore trade to the Bills. On the thumbnail, everyone's talking about it. Definitely major impact in the ADP market. And I find this headline from CBS Sports, this one in particular, with a picture of Max Crosby there, I think is really interesting. Not quite on the article itself, but I do believe that trade opens the door where that Max Crosby addition is even more likely. I think the Bears adding someone like that is definitely going to be big impact on their Super Bowl chances. I like them as a top 3 team in the NFC, even if that doesn't happen. And then obviously for offensive purposes, we're more interested in Colston Loveland by far. Luther Burden, I think, is more justified at his ADP as he rises. I still don't think he's more valuable than Colston Loveland. And then I am much more comfortable drafting Rome Odunze, who I think is probably deserving to go where Burden used to go at the beginning of the 5th round, somewhere in there. So Rome moves up. Burden, I think, should stay put, but I'm sure he will move up. But BestBall Berserker, this one you may not get. I don't know if just dropping dibs in the comment section is going to be enough to acquire him. Maybe I'm going to take him. Maybe somebody else will, but definitely I think the most coveted option is the pass catcher they drafted first in the Ben Johnson tenure, top 10 last season with Colston Loveland. So that's the guy I want the most. Drop a like if you're hopping in. We're going to be joining a best ball draft very shortly. But before we do that, I just want to remind you, if you didn't join me last night on the stream, it was late night, maybe you were sleeping. I did have a team to brag about just a little bit. I did not draft this on the stream. If anything, you can watch it on Fantasy Football Garage's stream last night. I was in the chat. I was just watching, joined his lobby, and we ended up with a great fall on Josh Allen. And look at the wide receiver room I have. Egbuka, Brian Thomas, Mike Evans, and DJ Moore. They're at pick 83. The board was a little bit tricky at that position. Let's just show you what ended up happening in the view. Started James Cook, Jeremiah Love, Josh Allen, and then we had to go 4 receivers. Missed out on Alec Pierce. Didn't feel compelled to pull up Quentin Johnston, and I scooped up DJ Moore at pick 83 just to make sure the team at 12 did not get in front of me. Oh boy, I don't think anyone's ever getting a Allen DJ Moore team at that price ever again. DJ Moore, if anything, is going to go in the 5th round, if not the 4th, very, very soon. So, yes, indeed. Lucky dog. That's the thing. My whole logic this February was if I have Allen, I'm trying to get as many free agents as possible with the hope of that happening. And then in recent days when the rumors about DJ Moore being traded were brewing, I was like, okay, let me also include DJ Moore into that mix. Just a few more bites at the apple. It worked, and I feel awesome about how this team worked out because I have Allen and Cook. That's also sweet. DJ Moore for the stack. I also took Kincaid and then 3 other tight ends. And then if you've been watching this channel, you know Tank Bigsby has been my favorite acquisition in the 16th round. I've been drafting him more than any other player, literally my highest drafted player. And as of today, there are now trade rumors regarding Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon can just get hurt, but especially if he gets traded, Tank Bigsby to the moon. So, fuck yeah. I am super excited. This team is fucking awesome. And just wanted to, toot my own horn just a little bit, pat myself on the back, that I woke up in such a good mood when I saw that news. Like, literally, that was the first thing I thought of the team I drafted last night. But let's see if we can top it. We're going to try and hop into a big board, and I'm on a very short delay, like 3-4 seconds, so hop in right now. I will join as well. I got the location error fucking bullshit, of course. So sorry. I have it on my phone. I'm clicking the button right now. 7 more to start. I think odds are, if you tried to get in, I don't think there's like a lobby that filled and then 5 spots that happened in like the 10 seconds difference. But I am in here. 7 more to start. Down to 6, actually. Shouldn't take forever. But big board if you would like to join in. Vamonos. But Josh also says, would like it if Buffalo could sign Romeo Doubs to help out Josh Allen and DJ Moore better. That was another beautiful fact about that team. I also had Romeo Doubs on that team. That would be awesome. I think Doubs would be awesome in Pittsburgh. The connection with Aaron Rodgers is there. I think he would work in San Francisco. Definitely could see the Niners try and weaken the Bears a little, the Packers, I should say, a little bit. Who knows? Maybe the Bears are now an interesting landing spot for a wide receiver. What's their cap space looking like? I'm forgetting. The Bears are just at what the cap allows. They are 3.4 million under the cap, so it needs to restructure some things. If anything, I think they need some defensive acquisitions. I don't think Romeo Doubs will settle for a low contract to go to Chicago, but could he go to Buffalo? They are in the negative cap space. They still have a lot of tweaking to do. I understand why they address that position more via trade and probably the draft. I think the DJ Moore trade indicates they will be drafting someone, not pulling someone in via free agency. They're not going to afford Alec Pierce. Mike Evans can go just about anywhere he wants, and now it's probably a little bit unnecessary to bring him in to Buffalo. So that's pretty interesting. The Chargers are now effectively the number 1 team in terms of cap space available. Love to see that. That number has gone up to 92 million. Chargers are number 1. I think the Chargers are a very sneaky landing spot for Mike Evans. If you told me they did not re-sign Keenan Allen and just brought in Mike Evans, I would be ecstatic. I think Keenan is a little bit past his prime and kind of checked out a little bit mentally last year. After he set some records against the Colts, his numbers really fell off. And who knows if that was just injury related or whatever. But damn, I get the 12 spot. Not ideal. I see Ladies First in at the 101. I see Napball in there at 4. Good to see you, Nap God. But is anybody else? I think I've recognized Chaz Michelson in at the 108, but not sure if he's watching. Genuinely have no idea, but I've definitely seen that name before. And then another person I don't know if is watching, but do recognize a little bit is Yannick 8, but that's just like over the years being in enough lobbies with somebody else that has a badge. But I'm at the 12, so this one's going to get interesting. We can go in any direction we want, really. When you're at the 12, as long as they're not going to make it back to you, pull up whoever the fuck you want, especially at the 12 and the 1. The bookend will be fun, so don't draft from the 12 too much on the live. Let's see how this thing goes. But Josh says, I heard Buffalo Bills are interested in Max Crosby for defense. I mean, I don't think they can pay him. Maybe getting rid of Joey Bosa and some other pieces, but everyone projects everyone to go to the Bills. Like, the Bills are just always the best fucking spot, but like, they just don't have a GM that has put them in position to acquire all these fucking pieces. Like, no offense, but I don't think Brandon Beane is one of the elite GMs in the NFL. If anything, I think he should have been thrown under the bus just as much as Sean McDermott was. I think they should have cleaned house, and their cap situation makes it rough for me to be convinced that they're just leaps and bounds better when entering this year. The guy who only had to focus on the offensive game plan now has to manage the entire game plan on both sides of the ball, let alone special teams and every other aspect of that job, I'm a little more convinced the Bills are going to regress and miss the playoffs, more likely than win the division next year. I still think the Patriots are very legit. They were a product of their schedule a little bit, but I saw a lot of flaws in the Bills. And I just don't think they can afford Max Crosby. But what's going to happen here? Genty goes, so Achane is there. We took Achane last night. And I was very tempted to put Justin Jefferson on the thumbnail here. And I really never take him. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's stay balanced. Let's go with Achane, Justin Jefferson. And let's just hope and pray that Jettas gets a good quarterback. There's also some sneaky trade potential for him. I don't think that's impossible. They have a new GM. Maybe giving him the bag is one of the reasons why they got rid of their former GM. And if you tell me they get past the draft and they haven't addressed quarterback where JJ McCarthy's still their guy, I wouldn't be the most shocked person in the world to see Jefferson demand a trade. Because you could get a haul for Justin Jefferson. You could get multiple first-round picks. And they are in a weird situation. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm someone who's kind of convinced A.J. Brown is going to the Patriots. If they're going to make a swing for a receiver, why not go Randy Moss 2.0 and make a swing with Justin Jefferson? Deal with the Vikings instead of the Eagles. I'm sure Howie Roseman is going to find a way to win that trade. Is this in regards to this Jefferson pick? Am I just dunzo because I clicked on Jefferson? Honestly, I might be. One of my most uncomfortable clicks this preseason. In the month of February, I think Jefferson has only joined my roster once or twice. But what's up, Dev? Good to see you, bro. Says Josh Allen has not had a receiver with over 1K yards since Diggs, so should be changing, you would think, especially given DJ Moore does not miss time. That's one beauty about DJ Moore and maybe why he's acquired so much draft capital in return. This is DJ Moore's game log. His rookie season, remember this was back when seasons only had 16 games. Played in 16 games as a rookie, played in 15 games as a second-year player at the age of 22. At the age of 23, also only missed one game. And then since 2021, 17 games, 17 games, 17 games, 17 games, 17 games. He does not get hurt in a way that forces him off the field. An extremely high floor acquisition. Maybe not the highest ceiling, but an extremely high floor type of player. Josh says, I want Joe Burrow traded to Vikings to help out Jefferson. That would be phenomenal. I would love to see that as well. But I think the Bengals are, as long as they have T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, they're going to not allow Burrow to leave. That's my take on it. They're not really going to let that happen, if I had to guess. But that'd be pretty cool. I would be happy with that as well. Do I have the music on? Yeah, the music is on. Okay, so that team at 8 took Allen. Going to be interesting if they feel so compelled to take DJ Moore at 41, or if he's going to make it back to 56. And if he does he pass? Because I'll tell you right now, if DJ Moore is available to me at 60, 61 at the 5-6 turn, I'm just going to take him there. ETN goes. I was honestly interested in drafting Travis Etienne on this team, but Tedero McMillan goes. I'm not going to take Rashee Rice. Yikes, this is a little gross. Instead, I'm going to go Colston Loveland. We'll pull him up. I think anywhere in the 4th is 100% valid. And then I could get a little bit cute with running back, but instead, let's give myself a stacking option. Actually, nice and you know what? This team is different. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. I never click Justin Jefferson. I never click Garrett Wilson. Let's do it together. That way I get my shares and I don't need to mix them in on too many teams. Not feeling great about this receiver start. Not going to lie, doesn't give me much confidence. I think it's two very disgusting values for two very disgusting situations. Extremely talented players. Definitely could both be second-round picks, if not first-round picks. We've seen that in the past. But just the Jets in general make you want to vomit. And Garrett Wilson maybe could have came back healthy last year and just decided not to because of how abysmal that team was. But this will be an interesting Kyler Murray team. I think best case scenario, Kyler Murray is a Viking. Worst case scenario, Kyler Murray is a Jet. And now we have stacking options with both of that. So I'll keep that in mind. But the player I'm willing to pull up in the Chicago offense is Colston Loveland. Absolutely at the 3-4 turn. Give me Colston Loveland. No doubts about it. Top 10 pick for a reason. Going to dominate in year 2. Joshua Carrero says, we got to hope that Josh Allen uses DJ Moore the same way as Diggs. And did I make any progress with DraftKings? I apologize, man. I did not. If anything, I made a little progress with Underdog, renewing the sponsorship contract. So I'm going to have to mix it in because I'm starting to feel like I'm overly invested in the big board. And for the return on investment, the odds of making more than $500 is a little low. And I'm getting close to investing $500. I'm almost at my 50th big board. And I think I may have gone at a pace that was too fast. So perhaps this might be incoming soon. But next week I have a lot of free time on the schedule. This like last few days of the week and weekend, I'm rather busy. So next week I will look into it. I can't promise we will be drafting our first DraftKings next week, but I will at least look into it, and I might reach out to them, see if they can maybe sweeten the deal for me. But if you have a DraftKings code, something that can get me some extra bonus cash, please let me know. That would also incentivize my willingness to make a deposit over there. But it's not a place I have an account with as of this recording, so that's where it just doesn't really cross my mind too much. But the team with Allen does get sniped on DJ Moore, goes pick 54. So got him 83 last night, stacked up with Allen. Feels amazing. Feels exceptional. Heard that the Jets are interested in Tua. I mean, they are tanking for Arch Manning, so that makes a lot of sense. That's a pretty valid claim. The logic does track. But so far we have a fairly balanced start. Would have loved to get ETN there, but was not willing to pull up both Loveland and Javonte at the 3-4 turn. But no DJ Moore as expected. This is interesting. I might be willing to draft RJ Harvey for like once. I almost never take him. At least it would be different. Need another running back, and he's one of the more appealing options here. So I'll do that. And then... nothing that's too exciting, but... let's just take Mike Evans. Another player who's similar to DJ Moore, might be moving up well into the 50s, if not 40s, in just 10 days. Give it a week. When we know where Evans is going to go, watch him be a riser. At the new price, will I be in? I'm not sure. It's going to depend on where he falls, but if you told me Mike Evans is a better click right now than Rashee Rice, wouldn't be shocked at all. But Rashee Rice also has the chance of being a 0. So let's consider someone who's, at least we know, is going to play the full season. You told me Mike Evans was more valuable than Ladd McConkey in a week. Not going to be shocked at all. That, I don't think, is egregious in any way, shape, or form. There's a world where he's more valuable than even like Tet McMillan, but I'm someone that's kind of just low on Tet in the 3rd round. I think it's a little too pricey for me. But BestBall Q says, DraftKings platform just doesn't feel good. Do you mean like aesthetically, or like when you're on it, there's a lot of just like gross teams that you end up with because the ADP is just so stupid? But if the ADP is that gross, then it might make me want to go there even more. Adrock, RJ Harvey is in the 5th, is rich. Broncos will bring in running back in free agency or draft, I believe. I don't take him very much, but I view it as taking him in the 6th. I'm at the bookend. 5-6 turn is equally the same. And I was never taking him in the 4th. I've never taken him in the early 5th. So like this literally might be my 2nd share of RJ Harvey in like my 63rd draft. And this is a team I already feel gross with. Like I'm just being completely honest with you. Jefferson and Garrett Wilson makes me want to vomit. But I'm at the 12. I'm mixing it up. Once I drew the 112, I knew this team was going to feel gross. But if you like it, drop a like. We got 16 viewers, 5 likes. At least drop a like for that team we drafted yesterday that we bragged about earlier at the top. But aesthetically, it feels gross. I get it. The Underdog draft board is hard to beat. Hard to beat this visual with the bold, stark contrasts of the orange and the green, the purple. The Underdog draft board is, I think, the best looking one by far. But this team has Achane, RJ Harvey. Harvey's not a click I like, but at least had a stretch there with a bunch of touchdowns, and maybe instead of J.K. Dobbins, it's like Brian Robinson backing him up. It's just not as difficult to go against. Who knows what'll happen? But the receiver room is just so I can get some exposure, really. But I do love the Colston Loveland pick there. I'm very happy to take him there. Montgomery goes at 71. Could I have pulled up Dave Montgomery? Perhaps. But instead, I'll just take the falling value on Harvey. There's not that many teams on this side of the board that have RJ Harvey. He usually went at like pick 50 for such a long time. So I'm very underweight on him. I'll just rectify it. This feels like a bit of an anti-draft for me. I mean, if Pearsall makes it to me, I'll take him, but I'm not going to expect it. Probably interested in Tucker Kraft here. Actually, no, not at all, given I have Loveland. Who is Yannick going to take? I mean, either Pearsall or Michael Wilson at this spot feels pretty nice. All right, so Michael Wilson would make a lot of sense. I'm kind of burying myself at quarterback, though, if I do that. If I do that and not take quarterback, then I would be burying myself. But instead, let's draft Michael Wilson, and then let's say Mike Evans is a 49er, and I'll take Brock Purdy. Gonna have to pull someone up a gross part of the draft for... We got sniped on some options. Also, I'm glad I did that because I'm sure that team that just took Pearsall's fucking pissed. I'm sure Yannick did not like that. Literally forgot. I think I was thinking to myself, go Pearsall and Purdy here, and then just it's stuck in my mind. But I do believe Evans is a very, very interesting 49ers candidate. Absolutely. But Sweet Leaf says, I like DraftKings way better, but hey, I got 3 finals teams there last year. That'll definitely make you a bit more inclined to prefer that. I'm sure that plays a factor in your preferences. But from what I've heard, it's the wild wild west, and you can get some crazy interesting teams. So it's worth trying. I should definitely try it. But someone let me know their promo code. I think you'll probably get some type of little bonus if I use it. But yeah, especially if I can get some deposit bonus money, I'm more excited to set up an account there. Have never looked into it, honestly. Josh, smash the like button, folks. Yes, that'd be nice. We asked earlier, it stayed at 5, so y'all don't give a shit. And that's fine. I don't give a shit either. But if you want to support the channel, help me out in the algorithm, boost the exposure of this video, a like is the free and most simple way to do that. But the team is interesting. I genuinely am not quite sure how I feel about the team. It's just like, I'm gonna pull up my exposures and just show you like how different this team is to what I'm normally taking. Okay, this is loading. If we pull up exposure, Achan, I'm fine with. It'll put me at 10%. But then Jefferson, I've literally only taken once before this. I was at 1.6%. I hate it. And then Garrett Wilson, I was at 6.5%. He's a little cheaper, so take him a little bit more often. But RJ Harvey, I'm at 3%. So this is just a draft to balance out some exposures and to be in the 9 slot. I mean, in the 12 slot. 100% a team I'm more willing to get bizarre with it. But an Evans to San Francisco bet would really save this team. Feel really good if that's the combination I'm getting. But Kyle Pitts at 102, that's a nice price. Would have liked him there at 108, but we have Loveland, so it's really not the end of the world. No problem with that. Diggs goes. I think Diggs can keep falling. I'm sure this is like the new price on Diggs, but like give it a week, give it 2 weeks, he might be in the 120s. A full 2 more rounds. But running back starting to fall apart, starting to dry up. Dowdle does go. Bummer. In all honesty, I kind of like getting a little bit different with it and going like Jalen Coker, Matthew Golden. I'm going to grab one. I'm at least taking Coker. We are Coke heads this season. At this price, I'm a Coke head. And then I don't love running back. I think the prices will be fine. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go Matthew Golden. Our receiver room is now pretty interesting. Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Michael Wilson, Jalen Coker, Matthew Golden. With a Colston Loveland at tight end, running back a little bit shaky, but Achan and RJ Harvey, we're going to be potentially drafting 7 or even 8 maybe. I doubt 8, but who knows. This could easily be a 3-7-8-2 build. 2 more quarterbacks, 5 more running backs, 2 more receivers, and only 1 more tight end. With Loveland, I think you can stop at 2. There's still some good values coming up. Passed on Gadsden, and I think that's fine. But receiver feels really interesting. With Jettas, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Michael Wilson, at a very nice price. We got Michael Wilson 10 picks past ADP. And then we pull up Jalen Coker and Golden, who normally go either in the late 10th round or even like the early 11th. They're usually on the other side of the board. And gives me a Bryce Young stacking option with Coker. Obviously, Jordan Love was already off the board, so Golden is not stackable. But Golden could have a major breakout. I think the Christian Watson price is extremely risky. And if they really mean business with this first round pick from last year, then Golden, I think, has the true like alpha ceiling, higher potential than the rest of them. I'll put it that way. Is it a lock? Of course not. He missed a lot of chemistry with Jordan Love last year, but that's just some rookie troubles. Historically, the Packers always know what they're doing when they draft that position, and for them to go all in and do something they just never do, I just can't envision that, like, there isn't a major push in the building to get Matthew Golden a year 2 leap. But we got Huhames in here. What's up, fam? We plan to, at least I do. I'm sure Huhames is fully voiced confirmation of this. We just don't have a date yet. But next week, we'll definitely have Huhames back on the channel and probably stop in on his as well. But Huhames, loved your video earlier today. Loved your stream with BestBall Saul. Loved the passion and the fiery exchange. If anyone missed it, head over to Huhames' channel. The stream he had today was so entertaining. The team they drafted was risky as fuck, but made for some fire content. Really, really invigorating thing to watch. Loved it, man. Super, super fun. That was dope. Welcome in, Jamie. Honestly, I have no idea what the translation to this means. Is this what the fuck? You know, I disagree, man. I think it was a work of art. I think it was a masterpiece of content. Was it a masterpiece of a team? I'm not sure. But the content was phenomenal. Man, even what Mike Washington getting pulled up. That's funny. Team's trying to bury me at the bookend here. But all right. Boy, this is such a different team than what I'm normally taking. But who the fuck cares? We're going to do it. Kyler Murray for the Minnesota stack. And then J.K. Dobbins, so that at the moment, I believe I have the RB1 in Denver. I believe Dobbins is going to re-sign with Denver, which means he's the guy you want for the first month of the year. And then in November, it'll be a bit more of a mix of the two. And then by the time we hit Thanksgiving, Dobbins is going to get hurt, not come back on the field. And then RJ Harvey will take over just like last year as the RB1 and get us like 8 touchdowns in the final 6 weeks. That's the way this works out. Harvey is someone that spikes in the fantasy playoffs that you just need on the roster to make it through. But then Dobbins gets you the points in Denver to give you the advance rate, finish top 3 in this 12-person lobby, and actually get into the dance where Harvey is the player you need. That's the argument I am making. We drafted the weekly RB1 in Denver because Dobbins is just coming back, and when he gets hurt, you're gonna just need RJ Harvey just like you did last year. That's how this team works. That's the way. That's the path that we're trying to navigate with this one. But it's what's up. I have never heard a actual French person, Jamie, say this shit. Google Translate is gaslighting you. If you want, you can put salut, which is S-A-L-U-T. It's like salute, but without the E. And that is a universal what's up. This, I genuinely don't know what the fuck means. Maybe there's some new slang that I'm just not hip to because I don't live in France and haven't really spoken French in my daily life for almost like 2 decades, practically. Once I left that French school growing up, other than talking to my mom and sister, there's almost no one I speak French to. Other than like random Uber drivers or something. Or back when I was an Uber driver, if there was someone speaking French, I would let them know and we'd do the car ride in French. It's fun. But this, I genuinely have no fucking clue what that means. But blaze it. Fuck yeah. Let's blaze it. But this team is starting to come together. Our quarterback position was a little bit odd, but now we have the hope and prayer that Kyler Murray is stacked up with Justin Jefferson. And that is really like one of the only two options that I think can save Justin Jefferson's value at ADP. If he does not get Kyler in there, then the only other one that can save him, and I really think the guy that I'm hoping for, is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings saves Justin Jefferson, at least for this year. But Kyler, hopefully reinvigorated with some motivating factors with KOC, also pissed about missing the playoffs last year. That could be a reclamation project. That'd be interesting. Otherwise, Kirk Cousins or bust. Those are the only three that I think can save our boy there. But this is interesting. All right, I guess I'll take the fall on Emmett Johnson, and we're also going to get a fall on Woody Marks, significantly past ADP. Our running back position is kind of gross, but fuck it, let's do it. They're not going to make it another 20 picks. So Woody Marks falls 22 selections, and then Emmett Johnson continues to fall, pick 156. Our running back room is not the most egregious thing, but obviously it's a little gross. We have Achane at the top, though. That's going to cover my ass on a weekly basis. That's fine. All right, so still only rocking with Colston Loveland. Who cares about the depth when you have Loveland? I'm still fine with just taking a second and calling it done. And then we have Brock Purdy, a little injury risk. Kyler Murray, a lot of injury risk. Hypothetically, I could go Mac Jones. Just make sure that I'm getting the Niners QB1 every week. That's not the worst idea. But that's going to be like worst case scenario if we get sniped all the way through and we're just taking someone randomly at 229 as our QB3. That's not the plan, but I guess it would be a fail-safe option to keep in mind. But love the new Emmett Johnson price. I'm still a believer he can still be very effective. So pick 156, basically round 14. I'll take that. I was never taking Woody Marks ever. This is literally my first share of Woody Marks. I'm not joking. Woody Marks does not come up on my exposure list. Do you see this? 0% Woody Marks. Houston Texans, I've taken Nico Collins at 9.7. David Montgomery, I was underweight, sadly. Jalen Knoll at just below 5%. Schultz at below 5%. Christian Kirk at 3. Jawar Jordan, I even clicked twice. But there is no Woody Marks on this list. This is literally my first team with Woody Marks. At least it's the cheapest price we've seen all fucking draft. All contest. Round 14 Woody Marks. But Montgomery is 29. Doesn't catch passes as much. Has also gotten a little banged up last 2 years. And Woody Marks is still going to get some usage. Not nothing, but literally the first time I've taken him. What's up, Green Bean? How you doing? How is your Thursday going? And then, while this draft is running, I would like to pull up something else. Tonight, one of the reasons I'm drafting a little early today is because I'm not sure how long this is going to go, and wanted to share something in the chat here. Not on the clock yet, but here we go. Incoming. Tonight, this link will take you to the stream I'm going to do with Fantasy Football Garage, the Candyman himself. I'm making an appearance on his channel. Very much looking forward to this at 7:15 Pacific time. So in 3 hours and 15 minutes, I will be live at this link with Chris from Fantasy Football Garage. Let's fucking go. You're in here. Love to see it, man. I'm thinking Terrence Ferguson speaks to me, and then I still want to get in at running back again. Give me Terrence Ferguson. And a Mr. Tank Bigsby. Loving the eye emojis with Tank Bigsby and the recent Saquon Barkley trade rumors. I'm just going to triple down on Tank Bigsby. Even if that doesn't happen until fucking August, I'm going to triple down with Tank Bigsby. I genuinely believe, from a handcuff argument, there is no one past Tyrone Tracy that gives me more confidence from a handcuff upside standpoint. There is absolutely a world where Saquon plays a full season and you just never get the volume with Tank Bigsby. However, in the world where Tank Bigsby is the man, he is going to get 20 touches for the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, good omen. Sadly, I was not in the stream with the Candyman. I was only in the chat. We were drafting against each other. But that team last night that fell into a Josh Allen, DJ Moore stack. Chef's kiss. Fucking love that team. Love that team. All right, so here's how the team is working out. Rounds 1 and 2, we try to stay balanced. Go H-N, Justin Jefferson, get our RB1 stud and wide receiver 1. Colston Loveland, we pull up to the 3-6 turn. I think he's a excellent pick in the 4th round, and I take him at the bookend just to lock him up. Garrett Wilson, not a player I take very much, but fuck it, let's mix him in. RJ Harvey, the 3rd player who's underweight on this team. Got a good falling value, but could absolutely argue he should fall even further. He is not going to fall far enough, though, to make it back to me at pick 84 in the 7th round. So we take RJ Harvey with Mike Evans, hoping that Evans lands with the Niners. And in the next round, we get a great value on Micah Wilson, 10 picks past ADP, paired up with Brock Purdy, hoping for the DJ Moore Allen stack we just got last night to land with Evans and Brock Purdy in San Francisco. Then I pull up Jalen Coker and Matthew Golden just to get really secure at wide receiver because I don't feel 100% confident in Jefferson and Wilson, to be perfectly frank with you. And then we take Kyler Murray, hoping for the stack with Jefferson. And then a worst case scenario, if he's a Jet, maybe he's a stackable piece with Garrett Wilson. Who the fuck knows? But Dobbins to get back in, hoping he's a Bronco. We just lock up every Sean Payton running back touch. Then Emmett Johnson, Woody Marks fall, 20 picks a piece, and I take them at falling value. Then we go Terrence Ferguson as our 2nd and final tight end. I'm not going to draft a 3rd when I have Loveland. Ferguson has elite upside if everything goes right for him. And then Tank Bigsby, in my opinion, the safest running back click left on the board once you hit round 16. I think everyone who needs a running back should be targeting Bigsby the most, especially with some odd rumblings that Howie Roseman is making calls to shop Saquon Barkley. Love Tank Bigsby in a contract season. Even if Saquon stays healthy, one of the most valuable upside handcuffs you can find. He is literally my highest drafted player overall. Tank Bigsby sits atop my exposure at 32%. It's going to go up with my 21st share. This is my 63rd team, and I have drafted 21 shares of Tank Bigsby. 1 in 3 drafts, I am clicking Tank Bigsby. I took Bigsby today in a draft. Love it, Jamie. Love to see it. I genuinely want to get up to like 50% Tank Bigsby before Saquon gets traded. If I can find a way to do that, I'd be so ecstatic. Like, you literally might see me draft Tank Bigsby in every fucking live stream. Braylon continues to fall. I will continue to pass. Don't give a fuck about that. Could maybe justify Brissett, but I think I'd rather go Aaron Rodgers. Also the potential that he lands in Minnesota. Very slim chance, but also the chance. And then with the Diggs release, I'm going to go Kyle Williams. Don't think he'll circle back to me. We're at pick 205. If this was a Best Ball Mania draft, this would be our final click of the entire thing. So we still have 2 rounds left. Not going to give a fuck about ADP at this stage. Just give me someone I think is a good click. And Kyle Williams, I think, has the major chance to be moving up the board at a very rapid rate if we make it through free agency and the Patriots have not brought in anyone. Because what's the Patriots cap situation? Patriots are not like in a bad spot. They still have $35 million in cap space. I assume this has been updated since the Diggs release. That's my assumption. Can't confirm. But it looks like the Chargers number has been updated in the last 24 hours. So I would assume the Patriots is also updated. I'm just going to trust this up-to-date listing on overthecap.com. So Patriots might be someone that's bringing someone in. But Kyle Williams in year 2 with no Diggs absolutely is a good value right now. Will he be a week from now? Maybe not, but literally could possibly move up like 5 rounds. Like right now, I'm not fully convinced that Kyle Williams is that much worse than Kayshon Boutte. And like if you rewind just 2 days ago, Kayshon was falling to like pick 180 sometimes. Weird vibes with the market and Kayshon Boutte. But if there's one guy that we've slept on and, you know, just have free at this moment, it's Kyle Williams. So I'll take him. And then just a reminder on the full team: Purdy, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Devon Achane, RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, Emmett Johnson, Woody Marks, and Tank Bigsby. And then wide receiver is Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Michael Wilson, Jalen Coker, Matthew Golden, Kyle Williams. Not bad. I like the spike week potential on this team a lot. I could see a lot of like 7-8 pointers from Jefferson and Garrett Wilson as well. But I think we got some good spikes that can cover that. We will still get some massive, massive games out of those top 2. And Evans as well. Michael Wilson, I know... where is he? I know the garage likes the Michael Wilson click. No, he likes it. But I think this team worked out okay. Like, obviously, I kind of wanted to vomit about 3 of our first 5 picks, but I think this team is pretty okay. Out of the 12, especially, yeah, I think this team is legit. Taking Loveland there gave me so much, like, peace of mind as we went through this draft. Because you can't tell me, like, with absolute confidence that, like, the ADP in the 4th round is correct. Like, I did take Garrett Wilson there. Normally, I'm fading him pretty hard. I'm also usually fading, like, Ladd McConkey. I don't know if either of them are really worth it at that price. So, just to take Loveland and just shore up, like, an elite tight end, never have to worry about it. Like, I could have taken Kraft there. I kind of wanted to, but taking Purdy and just getting a quarterback I trust feels very, very safe as well. Jack Betch off the board. LaQuint Allen taken. That's interesting, but a Yamanor falls like 30 picks. Okay, I'll probably just scoop up a Yamanor. Maybe not my favorite click, but I'll scoop him up, and then we're done with 2 tight ends. We're gonna grab a 7th running back. We're gonna go Jordan James with the Niners connection, and then just the fade on Christian McCaffrey. At the moment, Jordan James is under contract. There's a little bit of rumblings, but it's also smokescreen season. If there's one team that has a smokescreen every fucking year, not a team to trust in terms of pre-draft headlines, it's 100% the Niners and their moves. What are their plans? Yeah, they're gonna fucking tell you. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan's just gonna be 100% honest with you. Unless he's playing mind games and just expecting you to take everything that he says as a crock of shit, which honestly would be some interesting meta on how to play the media. Just be 100% honest after years of outright lying at every fucking turn. That'd be pretty interesting. But I kind of was interested in a potential Jalen Naylor selection there, but Naylor ended up going earlier than I've seen him in a while. Naylor went at pick 213, round 18. I thought he might be available at 228. So that was kind of a plan of Kyler, but really we want the Jefferson stack with Kyler. We don't really want anyone else. Kyler can make one guy productive and then everybody else kind of sucks. So, especially with Addison and a potential suspension again, him being a nutcase, not quite in the Rashi Rice situation, but not as violent, but, you know, equally as untrustworthy. Jefferson's really the only one that you want to risk trying to stack up with Kyler Murray. But this is also my fucking, like, is this my first share of Kyler? Yo, it's literally my first share of Kyler, Woody Marks, and, like, wow, this is such a weird team. If you're tuning in to the channel for the first time today, I literally have never had a team like this. I literally shit on Jefferson as a click most of the time. Garrett Wilson makes me want to vomit. RJ Harvey, I'm never taking. I'm very rarely taking Michael Wilson. What's my exposure on Michael Wilson? Holy shit. 3.2%. This is my third share of Michael Wilson in my 63rd draft. Damn. I'm starting to click Coker and Golden more. First time ever clicking Kyler Murray. First time clicking Woody Marks. I don't have a lot of Terrence Ferguson, but I think that's a mistake. I want more of Terrence Ferguson. And then, yeah, a few clicks that I'm more comfortable with later on. But very, very strange team. Bizarro world today out of the 12. But honestly, I don't hate it. I think for what it is, I think I did a good job, honestly. Brock Purdy with Jordan James and hopefully Mike Evans. That's the bet. And then Kyler Murray, hopefully with Justin Jefferson, but possibly with Garrett Wilson. Aaron Rodgers with hopefully Justin Jefferson. We have the two names I think could be going to Minnesota there with Justin Jefferson. I think that's the way to be drafting Justin Jefferson, with a Kyler or Aaron Rodgers potential stack. Running back, we got Achane, RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, hoping for every touch in Denver. Just like last year, that'd be a nice mix and match alternating combo. And then Emmett Johnson at a nice discount. Love him at 156. I still believe in his talent. And then Woody Marks at a massive value, 22 picks past ADP. My first share of Woody. And then Tank Bigsby, my 21st share of Bigsby. I take him 33% of the time. 1 in 3 drafts, I'm drafting Bigsby. And then Jordan James, happy to mix him in. And then receiver Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Michael Wilson. Love that value on Michael Wilson. And then Jalen Coker, Matthew Golden, Kyle Williams. And then Elic Ayamanor falls 30 spots. Our tight end room has Colston Loveland, truly elite. And then Terrence Ferguson looking for a year 2 breakout. Round 2 tight end in the Rams offense with elite spike week potential. I like this team, despite not liking some of the names on it. I think how it worked out in totality is pretty good, but I like it as a whole. Individually, I'm not that hot on it. I'm not that excited about it, but like when you just start thinking about the logic for hoping to pair a bunch of players up that right now are not connected, in that way, I like it. So we'll revisit this maybe in 2 weeks' time and see how lucky or how terribly this went for me. But very interesting team. Drop a like if you think so as well. We'll just quickly scan some other teams. I know Ladies First is a viewer of the channel. I assume they're watching, so let's just take a look at how that went. Herbert, Lawrence, and Darnold. Don't hate it. Gibbs, Bucky, Kyron. Kind of unique there. Yeah, pulled up Kyron and Bucky to the 1 turn at the 2-3 turn. Goes Jonah Coleman, Adam Randall. So like stopping at 5, but these rookies I think are very risky in terms of depth. But then wide receiver Roma Dunze pulled up. Carnell Tate at 49. Addison right at ADP. Xavier Worthy. Jaden Reed with a little fall. Trey Harris, Torrey Horton, Jeremy Bernard. Could thread the needle, but a little risky for sure. And then 4 tight ends. I think this is the problem. Brenton Strange, AJ Barner, Elijah Arroyo, and Pat Fryermuth. I think taking Arroyo was the mistake. That's the pick I really don't like. I think if you give me, let's say instead of Jonah Coleman, just say fuck it and pull up like Rashad White, someone that I'm a little more comfortable with. Or, you know, I get it on Jonah Coleman, but let's say instead of Coleman, we have Rashad White at a big pull-up. Probably don't want... Let's say we just go Mike Washington, someone that is not going to come back to you. Let's say it's Mike Washington. Maybe a little more confidence in Mike Washington. Yeah, that's interesting. And then instead of Arroyo, give me Flournoy or Ayamanor with another receiver option. Because to have Rome and Carnell Tate as your 1 and 2, I don't hate it, but it is rather risky. It feels a little bit dicey. And then maybe Adam Randall's also a little tough to trust. But Randall has a lot of upside. I don't hate the Randall click at all. I think the Elijah Arroyo selection is what made me like go a little overboard. But love the Jeremy Bernard pull up. I doubt he was going to make it to you there at 216. So very, very nice. Love the Torrey Horton stack with Darnold and Barner. Trey Harris, a sneaky option. But until they bring someone in or don't in free agency, I'm not trying to be overweight too much on Trey Harris. Just a little bit too many unknown factors with him. But I like the Worthy click. I like the Jaden Reed click. The Addison click is not bad either. Just need him to stay healthy and available. And then Tate and Odunze just have to pay off for you. But to start with those 3 running backs is very interesting. I think you landed the plane in that regard. Herbo, Lawrence. Not bad. Just think Arroyo should be a receiver. That's all. Very, very minor changes. If anything, it's perfectly cromulent, as they say. Knapp with Goff and Shuck. Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Travion, Aaron Jones, Katron Allen, Claiborne, and DJ Giddens. So a nice, robust 7-player running back room. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, Jamison Williams, DK Metcalf, Parker Washington, Jaden Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Naylor, and Keon Coleman. Not bad. Anything with Chase feels good. A few big swings, like with Tyreek Hill. And maybe Jaden Higgins is a bit more important to this team as I would like, but can 100% be valid and totally work. And then tight end room, Laporta, Kenyon Sadiq, Juwan Johnson. Love the tight end room. That's why the receiver room's just a little bit thin. But like that you have 7 running backs on this team. Quarterback a little bit shaky, but like honestly worth the risk. Both of them stacked up with tight end and then the Sadiq click as well. Not bad. Not bad at all. Love that there's 7 running backs. Yeah, very nice. Anyone else I'd like to spotlight real fast? I don't think so. Yeah, no one's revealed themselves. If they're lurking, then they just don't want a team review, as far as I'm concerned. So we will hop into one more and then sign off. This is going to be my last draft of the live stream. Hopping into a big board, and I will do it on the phone because earlier at the top we did get the location error. Sadly, that did happen. All right. I have it pulled up. The delay is 4 or 5 seconds. So go ahead and click it in 3, 2, 1 right now, and I will join as well. 10 more spots to start. So odds are there might be one person in a underfill. There might be one person that was the last to join in the previous lobby. Hopefully not. Hopefully if you wanted to get in, you are also in this waiting for 9 lobby like I am. But yeah. Maybe we revisit the exposure now. Let's refresh it. See what's going on. Yeah, Tank Bigsby officially at 33.3%, drafted with 21 shares. In terms of the Eagles, I've taken Saquon twice, and I've taken Tank Bigsby 21 times. So let's draft him in this one, and it'll be literally 11 to 1. That's funny. 22 shares of Tank Bigsby, 2 shares of Saquon if this draft goes correctly. But I've also taken Dallas Goedert at 19%. I think he's a really interesting free agent acquisition. I've taken A.J. Brown at 19% as well. I've taken them like crazy, thinking A.J. Brown could leave, and then Goddard might leave or stay, but love them. Have Devontae Smith just above 9%, so a fine investment in Smith. Nothing crazy, but a little bit more than baseline. And then Jalen Hurts I've taken at 5%. Only at a good value. My cat just knocked something down. That's what that noise was. Holy shit. Whew. Nuketown Kid, welcome in, my friend. Nice to see you again. Hello, how you doing? Green Bean says back to my work week, but going good. Thanks. Nice to hear. Only one more day tomorrow. Correct, unless you work weekends. Coolers landed in a stream draft. Love to see it, man. You're in at the 7. Good luck to you, my friend. Good luck. But anyone else I recognize? Don't think so. Not quite sure. If you happen to be watching, go ahead and let me know. But maybe you want the element of surprise. Maybe that's the whole reason you're watching. Just to try to get in a draft and try to know where I'm going to go. Who knows? Only you do. But with that in mind, I'll see you in about 8 seconds. I realized I dropped that with the background music still playing. So it's not as effective. It's not as true to its nature. I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Next time, fade out the music for the intro. But indeed, blame it. I know, right? I'm reinvigorated to get back into these tournaments and just double down on all of my takes before they actually come to fruition. Some of them I will get burned by, but some of them I genuinely think can really pay some dividends. I mean, we could go McCaffrey. We could. Fine, I will. Either gonna win me the tournament or lose me the tournament, but if you're not top 3, you're last. Nice. If you're not top 3, it's as good as 12th. Let's do it. But Coolers goes James Cook. Don't hate it. I am someone that, in my first couple drafts, that's what I was doing. I was pulling up Cook and taking him in every fucking draft for my first 4 or 5 lobbies, and then I realized okay, I'm just gonna have James Cook every single time if I keep doing this. But I genuinely believe Cook might be one of the safest running backs to draft in round 1 once Gibbs is off the board. Genuinely think he has the highest floor. I think top 6 is locked in for Cook. Will he actually be the RB3? That I can't quite say definitively, but I think unless he gets hurt, I can't really envision a scenario where the Bills RB1 on a team that's just going to give him minimum 14 touchdowns is not going to be a top 6 running back. Henry gets pulled up as well. Wow, okay. Fuck yeah, I'll do this. So glad I took McCaffrey. I almost took Achane instead of McCaffrey, and then I was debating between Lamb and Jefferson. Fuck yes. CMC falls 2 picks and Achane falls 5. So usually they go at picks 7 and 11. There are not many teams with McCaffrey and Achane together. This is fire. Love it. Thank you, Sonny, for pulling up Derrick Henry. Thank you, Easy Dubs 420. Love it. Love the 420. That's a great omen. And then K Alvin 17, maybe Calvin. I was in Alvin and the Chipmunks when I was a kid. Literally beautiful. Beautiful vibes leading to this genuine good luck. Fuck yes. CMC and Achane start. Feels bomb. If anything, I'm gonna smoke again for that. That deserves a new pipe rip. Pays to be lucky. There's no way to get this without just getting lucky. You know what I mean? Like you can't pretend like you're just good at drafting, and like this is just the start that like you're able to manufacture. I'm just lucky as fuck right now to get that unique start. Beautiful, if you ask me. Also, a lot of risk, a lot of injury risk. Also, a very low floor. But if you're not top 3, you're last in this tournament here. So, who the fuck cares? DJ Moore of the Bills is bullish for Cook. I would agree with that. I'm at like 13% James Cook, so I was happy I had a good amount of him. Just in general, I'm glad about that. But yeah, I would agree with that take. Definitely just the offense in general is going to be better. Stay on the field, extend drives, settle for field goals less, turn into more touchdowns. 100% would agree with that. He's already a first-round pick, so how much better can he be? But the difference between pick 10 and pick 6 is huge. On the clock. Don't think I'm going to go Breece Hall. If anything... shit. I'm going to pull up Lad. Not an amazing decision, but I was looking at my shares of the Chargers recently, just like I was doing with other teams. We have some time. I'll do it right now. I'm just underweight on Lad McConkey. We just dipped below 8%, so time to get back in. I want to be right at 8% with Lad McConkey. I am extremely invested in Quentin Johnston. Might regret it. Have a shit ton of Omarion Hampton at 22%. Have 19% Justin Herbert. 13% roughly Oronde Gadsden, 9.5 on Trey Harris, 7.9 on Najee, but don't think he's going to come back to the team. And then Lad McConkey also 8%. Let's get in on Lad McConkey in the moment here.
Nice and blonde.
But kind of want to just take Colston Loveland again, like we just did. But if anything, I think I might be a little shy on Jamison Williams. Not going to take Garrett Wilson again. Give me JMO. Because this is egregious. Like, I thought I was clicking him more. I don't know why I let that fucking happen. Probably because I can get him at any time, really. I could see his ADP fall a little bit. But that's fucking dumb. I've been pulling up like Egbuka and Loveland, or he just gets sniped. You know, there's also that factor where he just doesn't make it to me. But I think a main reason why is because I have Adams right above him. And usually if there's one of the two that's going to fall, it's Adams. Like, it's really not planned for me to have JMO that little. If anything, it's something I really need to fix fast. Feels terrible. Because he's someone that can drop 28 points, 30, 35 points in a random game when you really need it. His spike week value is just so high. So I was fucking up. Just an oversight and maybe getting unlucky. A combination of the two. So give me JMO there. Need a lot more JMO. Anyways, let's practice the new technique. We're going to kill the music. And then we're going to drop the stem pull because I'm about to smoke one more time. We needed to blaze it for the sake of our Christian McCaffrey A-Chain combo. For the sake of that start, I had to blaze it. But the music's back. We're all good. So CMC, A-Chan, Lad McConkey, JMO. Balanced start, elite running back, solid wide receiver room, but a position I think we're going to need to hammer for quite some time before the cliff arrives. There is a cliff at this position in the 8th round. And if you do not have 4 that you're comfortable with by then, it gets really grim. And given Lad is my number 1, JMO my number 2, we'll see what happens. But if mid Loki makes the mistake and does not pull up who you know he should be taking, then that is an auto click for me. Goes Swift. Wait, is he already off the board? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, not. He's not. All right. You fucked up, Loki. Thank you. Give me the Bills receiver 1. He should be going in the 5th now. And he should be going either to the Allen team or someone needs to take him earlier than that. That's just where he should be going. So, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Maybe I could have pushed it to circle back around, but there's that team with only CeeDee Lamb. You know they were going to get desperate. You know they were double tapping receiver. And in general, receiver is just a position you need to get in on before it dries up. So give me DJ Moore. We are on the clock with the next selection. Mekhi Lemon is circling back. Daniels off the board. There's some weird vibes with Mekhi Lemon and Tyson potentially falling. Meanwhile, I genuinely think Evans is someone that is just going to rise in ADP soon, so we're going to do it again. And if I get stuck with that Brock Purdy QB1 like I did last time, then we also have Christian McCaffrey to pair with him. So it's just more and more of an investment in that regard. But yeah. Like the DJ Moore click in the 5th. I think it's appropriate. Like, that's where it's going to settle. And, like, I could have maybe tried to get him in the 6th round, but, like, for my rankings, there's only 3 receivers I wanted with those 2 picks. Brian Thomas, Mike Evans, and DJ Moore. So, like, I have a bunch of Brian Thomas, Mike Evans teams already. For my purposes, like, I wanted to just kind of make sure that DJ Moore was in the club, in the room. But we'll see what transpires. Kind of thought about taking a quarterback there, knowing that the long turn, especially in the 7th round, didn't quite happen in the 6th so far, but I would envision all the teams that don't have a quarterback yet are very likely to be clicking that button with their next selection. In the next, 8 picks, watch 6 quarterbacks come off the board. The over-under on QBs should be 4.5 in these next 8 picks. 1 of them is already taken. 2 is already off the board. 3, what'd I say? Team with Lamar goes Tyler Warren, but QB. This team's taking quarterback. Does not. All right, I appreciate that. Love to see a non-purple. There we go, the 4th. So, do we hit the over on 4.5? That's what I thought. Coolers is the deciding vote because I'm not sure the... Yep, there it is, 5th quarterback. As I told you. But the one I didn't want to be taken was not. Tempting to go Bishal Tootin, though. Very tempting, in all honesty. I'd pick 81. I'm going to do it. Fuck it. This team with Hampton probably just takes Herbert, but I don't have much Tootin either. And if ETN is indeed going to leave, then his ADP will be rising. Didn't want to pick quarterback, but I've seen this movie before, and it ends with me having Aaron Rodgers and Tua. Understandable, bro. Very understandable. But obviously, I'm going to be ecstatic if somehow Herbert gets passed on with these next 4 picks. I'm not expecting that in any way, shape, or form, though. But the team in front of me could also take Trevor Lawrence to pair with Thomas. That could save me. Lawrence goes to the Parker Washington squad. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Dak. Come on. Come on. Oh, brother. If it doesn't happen here, I think it's a legit event. Because that team with Daniels might just be willing to pass, but fucking of all times to fucking glitch. Pollard. Okay. And now watch Herbert just get taken. Fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful, baby. Hell yes. Justin Herbert with Ladd McConkey as my wide receiver 1. 8 picks past ADP. I've not been seeing Herbert in the 8th round. Let's fucking go. A team goes Quentin Johnston over Herbert. That's wrong. Love me some Quentin Johnston value, but over Herbert? Nope. Holy shit. This team is fucking awesome. I am so excited about this team. We start off McCaffrey and Achane. That's already like a reason to be ecstatic. We get the falling value on Tootin, and then we do get the stack on Herbert. I was going to take Herbert instead of Tootin there. So like fucking awesome. I'm so stoked. Drop a like if you agree that this team is fire. But the hippo in here, hello, my friend. Good to see you. Long time viewer. You were with me back when I was at like maybe like the first or second draft. I feel like the hippo was in here. Hippo's been watching the live streams since they've started. Damn, Kraft falls in this one. This is a wild lobby here. This is interesting. R.I.P. Higbee back to the Rams. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Herbo on this team is fucking huge. That team with Pearsall does take Brock Purdy. That's where I was willing to risk not getting Herbert, because then I would have just taken Purdy and would have been fine. But there's also a very sneaky scenario where Evans is signed with the Chargers too. Chargers have the most cap space and a weak receiver room that could 100% use Mike Evans and also not put so much on his plate that he's just locked in to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, they have the depth where Evans doesn't need to be Superman. Kind of a rough situation for him is going to the Bills and just having to do everything and then just getting hurt by like week 3 and it just being such a significant injury. Because you know he's going to have a hamstring strain. You know something's going to go a little bit tricky with him at his age, but he's also still going to go over 1,000 yards most likely. And Chargers have the cap space for it. This is very interesting. Where do we go here? The team goes Goff. That would have been nice with JMO. The teams after me, though, do not have quarterbacks. I think I'm going to mix in Jordan Love here. Don't take him a ton. And this has been a day to take guys that I'm not super committed to. So just in terms of like falling value, Stafford made a lot of sense there, of course. But like, I want a stack that we're going to give the team with Adams a bit of a reward, but I don't care. Let me get a little bit unique with it, and then a combination I saw earlier. I pulled him up, Huhames. I pulled him up to 105. I reached on Jordan Love at 105 for the sole purpose of pairing him with Matthew Golden. If you did not watch Huhames stream today, you're not going to understand why I'm laughing. But he was at the 12 hole and he was rage baited into pulling up Jordan Love at 85. We got Herbert at pick 88, and Huhames just took Jordan Love at 85 earlier today at the behest of his guest. But I do like the Jordan Love, Matthew Golden stack there. If Love is actually going to take the leap to be super valuable, it's because Matthew Golden is the man. Rams just signed Higbee to a 2-year deal. Fucking sucks. Don't like to see that. Yes, very appropriately. I guess you were rage baited into stacking Jordan Love with Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden. I guess that's what it was. But yes, this is a more accurate description. That was some great content earlier, if anyone wants to check that out. But I will be right back. I got to turn off my air conditioner. I just realized that saying that out loud might be rage bait to some of you watching, depending on what part of the country you live in, depending on the temperature on March 5th. But it has been warm in Los Angeles the last week or so. It was fun to watch, man. It was really fun to watch. But I do think a stack like that is super unique. It has to work out. No one else is really going to have Kraft, Love, Jaden Reed, and Golden. But do you need all of those 4 players to make it work? Probably not, you know? Probably not all 4 of them. But this team does not have a tight end yet. Has 3 running backs that are pretty interesting, though. Stroud goes. We could take a falling value on Kittle, especially with Gainwell off the board. Instead, I'm going to go Kenyon Sadiq. Right at his new ADP. Feels like I'm never really going to get him to fall. If anything, he'll be more expensive. So let's go Kenyon Sadiq. And I think he's an interesting candidate for the Ravens in the first round. He's 100% a first-round draft pick, so that's justification to take him. Gonna work out. I'll go Kenyon Sadiq as our tight end 1. Quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. Love stacked with Golden. Herbert stacked with Ladd. And then running backs, CMC, Achane, and Bishal Tootin. Wide receiver room in totality has Ladd, J-Mo, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, and Matthew Golden. Might find a sneaky double Justin Herbert stack with not just Ladd, but also Mike Evans. Fingers crossed, not anyone's talking about, but Mike Evans, probably the most coveted free agent receiver. Chargers don't have an elite receiver room, and they have the most cap space as of this recording. I think I might continue to push running back a little bit. Could pull up Rashad, but could also just go Debo. But you know what? I didn't hate it. Let's go Kyler. Let's mix in Kyler. And that way we just call it done at quarterback. Because while I do like the Jordan Love Golden combination, that's not like the safest quarterback investment. Like, my ranks very much prefer Stafford there. But to backstack Stafford, especially as you're telling me the Rams just signed Tyler Higbee, then they become extremely unappealing. And now you just have to gamble that they draft a rookie. And that can go off the rails. Can definitely never get someone stacked with Stafford. And that just doesn't really feel like the way that drafting him and winning is gonna go. I don't think a team with unstacked Stafford is gonna have an advantage over a Stafford and Puka team, a Stafford and Adams team, or even a Stafford and, I guess, Terrence Ferguson team. But that feels a lot less compelling now that you're telling me Higbee is back. Because even then, I could have argued for Colby Parkinson being more valuable. But I do like the Sadiq acquisition on this team, especially with Kyler. I don't hate it. I could also see the Vikings drafting Sadiq if they are going to indeed move on from TJ Hawkinson. Vikings bringing in Kenyon Sadiq would be really, really interesting. I believe they draft ahead of the Ravens, so those are probably the two most compelling landing spots. I don't think he's going top 10, but I do think he's probably going to go top 20. So if Kyler is with the Minnesota Vikings, then might fall into that, but that's a big if. Kyler might be dog shit, but like I showed you in the last draft, we were not drafting him at all, and I think at 140 he's fair game, so he's not going to make it back to me at 153. I'll just take Kyler. I'll start to take Kyler. Okay, on the board soon. Emmett Johnson does get taken. We took him at 156, so happy with that. Coolers only has 3 running backs, so he's a lock to snipe me here. Not even going to question that. So, when we know... Oh, he goes Pat Bryant. What does Loki do with only 3 receivers? Be my guest. Wow, he took Woody Marks 137. Go for it, bud. Beautiful. So glad I did not pull up Rachaad White. That's phenomenal. We take him here instead. Love it. Love it. Love it. Boy, both of these teams are fun. This one in particular, though. Rachaad. Here's another reason why I think drafting Rachaad is compelling. Because with the David Montgomery trade, a very unappealing RB1 landing spot now turns into a very appealing RB2 landing spot. Taking the Texans' job off the board for Rachaad White and replacing it with the opportunity of him landing in Detroit as Gibbs' backup. Not saying that's going to happen, but just the potential landing spot of that. All remaining free agent running backs become so much more valuable with that on the board. If they don't sign anyone, then all of that value would transfer to the rookie class. But at the moment, I am more compelled to believe that the Lions will be bringing in a veteran running back, not a... Hold on. Is my receiver room good enough to pass right here? Because it's not great moving forward. Omar Cooper was taken, so I will go Jonathan Brooks. I will take the swing on Jonathan Brooks. I think this roster is compelling enough where the risk-reward ratio of Brooks, I'm not dependent on him very much. If he is a 0, it's not going to hurt me that much, but if he really does pay off, wheels up. I think the Panthers running back to be drafting at this time of the year is Jonathan Brooks. Until we see what they do in free agency, right now, give me Brooks. Because if they bring in anyone, then I'm probably more interested in whoever they were going to sign. And then if they don't bring anyone, Then I'd be more comfortable with Chuba his price, but I think if anything, he'd be falling. And Brooks, at the end of the day, was the best running back of his class, a second-round pick, and only a second-rounder because of his injury concerns. He would have probably been a late first-rounder if not for coming off a big ACL tear. Obviously, they rushed him back a little too soon. Maybe he rushed himself back before he was ready, but if someone's going to pop and give you RB1 numbers that could be like top 20 value that's being drafted this late, it is Jonathan Brooks. Nobody else, I think, qualifies with that level ceiling. So 100% might be worthless, but I think who I have makes it worth the gamble, and then the upside is through the roof. So I'm trying to click more Jonathan Brooks in round 14. Let me get back to the chat. Looks like I missed some stuff. There we go. We'll settle right there. Who, Hames? Someone in my Discord just said, who spent 30 minutes explaining all the reasons he doesn't like pulling up Jordan Love? as if you don't get it after 30 seconds. Where do you think Evans will land? I'm optimistic it's the Niners. I think that's the best spot. But I think a place that is underrated that no one's really talking about is LA with the Chargers. I think Evans with the Chargers would be fucking awesome. And they have the cap space to really try to get him. The rumors about Evans was that he was favoring the quarterback he would play with. That was like his main tiebreaker on his list when he was evaluating his options. So obviously he could just come back to the Bucks. That'd be a little underwhelming, but still warranted at ADP. Probably not going to go to the Bills anymore. That would have been dope, but he could go to the Chiefs. I want him to go to the Niners. I think that's where he will go, but I also think the Chargers are an underrated spot as well for potential landing spots. We're about to be on the clock, so let's just take a look. I know who I want. I'm just going to pull him up, and then I don't really give a shit, honestly, about tight end. So I'm just going to be done at running back with my boy, Tank Bigsby, and now we have a full 11-to-1 ratio on drafting Tank Bigsby versus Saquon. That's where I want it right now. Give me 12 drafts. I will invest in an Eagles running back in 1 out of 3 of them. And 11 of those times, I will take Tank Bigsby. The other time, I will take Saquon. That is literally my take on Philadelphia right now. Do not draft Saquon until after the NFL draft, when we have a little bit more understanding of what that team is going to look like. Draft Tank Bigsby with just the assumption that Saquon's going to miss some time. That alone makes him a valuable piece. But then with the Saquon Barkley trade rumors, he is my lottery ticket. I am planting my flag on. Tank Bigsby. Nice and blunt. My most drafted player in the month of February, and gonna probably stay that way in the month of March if this remains his ADP. Ideally, you're taking him in the 16th round, but I don't know who's watching and who knows my takes. I'm just gonna take him. Happy with David Njoku here. I'm not upset with that at all. Our receiver room is starting to get a little bit thin, though. But I'm going to go Njoku. Rumors I heard yesterday are that Dallas Goedert might be out. Very likely not to return to Philadelphia. The name circling with the most buzz that was at least reported on by FS1, Jason McIntyre on The Herd with Colin Coward said this, and usually there's some legit reporting when that show says something. The name most likely to replace Dallas Goedert in Philly would be David Njoku. At the moment, that is the leader if Goddard does leave, and it seems like that's more and more likely as of the last 48 hours. Will it happen? I don't know, but I know Njoku is one of the more desired free agents at tight end. Anyways, back to the chat. Higbee is signing a $8 million two-year deal. I don't think it's that big of a deal. No pun intended. Right. That's not a huge commitment, but you'd be surprised what the tight end market really is like, especially with someone like injuries like that. The thing that because he got injured and they drafted Terrence Ferguson, they used 4 at one point in a rotation last year, ran a lot of 12 personnel. He'll mix in, but I don't think it's a death nail to the value of Terrence Ferguson and Colby Parkinson. If anything, those guys are better pass catchers than Higbee is. And Higbee might just be there for more blocking purposes, but not going to be irrelevant, but just not a huge death nail to the Ferguson and Parkinson value. If anything, take the cheaper one in Colby Parkinson. I don't care where Evans ends up as long as it isn't back in Tampa Bay. I agree. Anywhere but Tampa, I think he'll be even more valuable. As an Igbuka Godwin owner in Dynasty, I hope Evans doesn't return. I've been drafting a ton of Igbuka and McMillan. Not as much Godwin because I'm still a bit worried about his injury concerns. But yeah, Godwin's also a very, very fine click. Normally, I do take White there, but not loving my receiver room. I get it. Pat Bryant, not a name I'm going to argue with too much. But T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Mekhi Lemon, Wandale, Juwan, Debo, and Pat Bryant. Yeah, okay, I get it. But running backs had Cook, Jeremiah, Algier. A bit of a steep fall off, though, from Rashad to Kimani Vidal as your RB4. But I understand the sentiment at receiver. Not going to go Ray Davis, that's for sure. Probably just going to pull up Jeremy Bernard. I know that's the position I really need. Tight end. I will pass. I will ignore that. I'll go Jeremy Bernard. Wanted a rookie. Our receiver room is interesting, but if anything, I kind of wish my tight end room wasn't so risky, because I feel like I need a third tight end. Maybe taking that Kyler pick is really what burned me. Like, who did I pass on when I took Kyler? Debo? Nah, I don't know if I hate it. Maybe should have just taken J.K. Dobbins or something. I think I'm okay. Would like to draft like 3 receivers with these last 3, but I think given my tight end room, I just don't think I can. I definitely want a third tight end. Would have been fine taking Parkinson, honestly. I think where he's going is too late, but instead we're gonna go Freiermuth. There is also a very, very slim chance, albeit not gonna put much money on it, that Kyler goes to the Steelers. Very slim chance, but it is possible. Two Meals in a Cart says, anybody have good info on Brandon Ayuk preparing for a colonoscopy? Had to make a quick run, came back and auto-drafted him. That may have been TMI. But when I read this, I legitimately thought that Brandon Ayuk is the one who you were telling me is preparing for a colonoscopy. I mean, at his age, that's not a good sign. But, I... Bro, what? I don't know. I don't know. Is this for the colonoscopy run, or basically who Hames had a colonoscopy today by pulling up Jordan Love? Yeah, Ayuk is just someone you want to fade unless you have Jaden Daniels and he gets to you at like a really good value. That's the only time I'm ever justifying clicking Brandon Ayuk. Two Mules. That's the only time. And then otherwise, just let him continue to fall. Like Ayuk might be pick 200 by like mid-June. You know what I'm saying? Like if Ayuk hasn't signed by June 1st, watch him be pick 200. Round 18. But Green Bean says Chargers don't really have a need at receiver. Just plug in an old Mike Evans, in my opinion, seems like a waste of roster spot and funds for the Chargers. Everyone's saying they're going to bring back Keenan Allen. Their receiver room is not as good as you think, man. Ladd is not a true number one. We know Quentin Johnston is not a number one. They don't have a number one. Keenan Allen was their number one. And I would be more excited about moving on from, all due respect to Keenan Allen, I'd be a little more excited to have Mike Evans than Keenan Allen this year. If you're telling me that the entire receiver room is just brought back with no changes, I think that's a little disappointing. So, you're entitled to your opinion, so am I. As a Charger fan, I would not be upset if that's what happened. Last year, I wanted them to sign Devontae Adams. I'll go Malik Washington for some floor. I think he will be contributing at a decent rate. Sounds like Ayuk is headed in the same direction as whatever you're doing. Yep. Yep. Let's see. Could we go Dontavian Wicks, perhaps? Not egregious. Isn't Wicks like a free agent, though? What's the deal with Wicks? Next year. Contract season for Dontavian Wicks. Romeo Doubs is expected to leave. Matthew Golden might be a bust. Wicks has had a few decent touchdown seasons. Only 2 last year, but 5 the year before that, 4 the year before that. Entering a contract season. But perhaps I just take it easy and go Keenan Allen with Herbo. Had 122 targets last year, 121 the year prior. He's not going to sign. Okay, Sonny takes him. Saves me a little bit. Fuck. This might be... Yeah. Kind of want to click Tyquan Thornton a little bit. Let's do it. Oh no, Dontavian Wicks is give it to me. Just a little too late on it, but I've been trying to talk myself into clicking Tyquan Thornton, assuming he just comes back to the Chiefs. He had some big spike weeks, you know, like he was their deep threat, and he beat out Jalen Royals pretty easily. He's a free agent, might go somewhere else, but like in round 20, if you're telling me I'm getting a few games where he has 2 catches, 59 yards and a touchdown, 5 for 71 and a touchdown, 3 for 90 even isn't terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's a lot of other games with 0, 1 target, whatever, but like if someone scores 5 points, that's the same thing as scoring 0 in best ball. So it's just someone people don't have, but definitely mixing in Dontavian Wicks when I have Jordan Love is a bit more correlated, of course, than taking Tyquan when I don't have Mahomes. But anyways, not sure if the final several rounds were like my best work, especially at receiver on this team, but I do think it's interesting enough to work out. Tight end is going to be the key here. Sadiq needs to carry me, and Njoku needs to sign with the Eagles or at least somewhere good. And then Freiermuth as the leading guy in Pittsburgh. Should be a solid floor most weeks, but at the very least might potentially be stacked up with Kyler. Very unlikely, but might happen. Anyways, a reminder on the full team. We had the 9 slot. In rounds 1 and 2, we took Christian McCaffrey and got a falling value again on Achane. So very unique 1-2 combo. Then I pulled up Ladd with Jameson Williams, 2 4th-round picks. So that's a little bit unique. Not as many teams like that. I have seen Ladd go in the 3rd round a lot more as of late. Then we pull up DJ Moore to pick 57 because I want to get in at receiver, and that team with Allen did pass. I think anywhere in the 5th, you can pull up DJ Moore. It's not egregious. The 5th round is where a receiver gets weird. Odds are he's going to go off a little bit more often in the 6th, but I think most teams that want to just get him, like me, are going to take him in the 5th. So I took him at 57, and then we get Mike Evans at 64, maybe a Charger, maybe a Niner, maybe something else, but hopefully he's a Niner. I think he's a great pick in the 6th. And then we get Bishal Tootin at a solid discount, fell 8 spots if I'm not mistaken. And then Herbert circles all the way back to pick 88, also fell 8 spots. That was so clutch. I am the team with Ladd McConkey. The team with Omarion Hampton did pass, not just once, but twice. They took Quentin Johnston above Justin Herbert. Maybe it worked out for them because they ended up with Stafford, and they do have Adams. So I'm sure they don't regret it very much. But I am so thankful for Team Sonny at the 10 for passing on Herbert. So did Easy Dubs at the 11. He didn't have a single quarterback, so a little bit baffled, honestly. And then Calvin went Lawrence and Dak unstacked. Oh, no, did have Parker Washington at least. But, yeah, kind of screwed over the team with Lamb there by taking Dak Prescott. That's kind of funny. Anyways, after that, I pulled up Jordan Love by like 5 picks to stack him with Matthew Golden. Then I took Kenyon Sadiq as my tight end 1 right at ADP. Gonna be a 1st-round pick at tight end, so probably gonna be moving up the board in terms of ADP soon. Gotta mix him in while I can. Kyler, also trying to mix him in a little bit. Some optimism on landing spots now that he's been officially released by the Cardinals. Only way for him to go is up. Then I get a nice gift with Rachaad White, honestly. I did not expect him to come back. Almost took him instead of Kyler. Then we take Jonathan Brooks for the upside, not relying on his floor at all. And then Tank Bigsby, my plant your flag player this late in the draft, my running back. I own more than any other player, and not just that position, but everything. Love Tank Bigsby. Njoku, hoping for a good landing spot, some optimism with him. Jeremy Bernard, I take at 201. I think this is fair game. Freiermuth, also fair game, unstacked, but maybe with Kyler, we'll cross our fingers. And then Malik Washington, a solid floor play at receiver, getting back into the position with Dontavian Wicks just to get unique. To justify further our stack with Jordan Love, yet another piece correlated with Jordan Love. So, very interesting team. Love how it started. Once we got Herbert, I thought this team was awesome. And only tight end is where I'm like, yikes. But receiver depth could also be a little bit tricky. But DJ Moore's going to stay healthy. Evans hopefully stays healthy. And then Ladd and J-Mo should piece it together also with over 1,000 yards. But if you're in here with me, looks like it's only FK Coolers if I can recall. I want to take a look at Cooler's team. But let me just catch up with the chat real fast. Hippos says, I think YouTube filtered out the colonoscopy comment. Had to click filter to all messages. I've been noticing that. Sometimes, like, YouTube doesn't show me some, like, fire comments just because of the top chat. I've been clicking to all chat whenever I'm watching someone else. And it's more entertaining, for sure. But auto-drafted him at 158. Is that Ayuk? Yeah. Maybe not the worst thing in the world. Where does he go in this lobby? He goes at 134. So that's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, between Ayuk and Jerry Jeudy, I don't hate it. I think I'd still go Jerry Jeudy there, but I definitely prefer Chimera DK. I think Ayuk is in the same camp as Ridley. I think Ayuk should be going where Ridley is going. I think neither of them are safe, but have a little upside in a best case scenario. but neither makes me excited. What kind of world are we living in where we can't make colonoscopy comments? Oh, you can. You can. Just YouTube is not going to show that to everyone. But I'll show it to everyone. I'll put the spotlight on it. Absolutely worth the entertainment value, if you ask me. Keenan Allen is such a dud player at his current age. He just sucked up targets and did barely anything with them. He did the same thing with the Bears when we had him. Literally ruins the value. I know it's he's just past his prime. I've been there, done that. It was a nice story, but they didn't really want him to be with the team last year. They brought back Mike Williams, and then Mike Williams had to retire because he's just too hurt. And then with no real other option, Keenan's like, all right, I'll come out of retirement and be elected team captain. I'll be great in September and October just to rack up my career stats. But once that happens, I'm kind of checked out until week 18 when I need a contract incentive and you're going to give me 13 targets with Trey Lance. Like, Keenan, I don't want to be the Chargers wide receiver one again. I'm going to be fully honest. I think he held them back a little bit. He helped. Their receiver room wasn't good without him. But I would have rather seen more development out of Trey Harris than all of the routes that ended up going to Keenan Allen. It was a little bit frustrating, honestly. Back half of the year. No, definitely not today, Who Hames. Definitely not. But Green Bean says, I mean, I like the wide receiver room in Chargers, and I'd also be annoyed if they brought back Keenan, though. I just get tired of these teams playing big money to these old receivers just to watch them fade into retirement. I get it, but if someone's earned it, it's going to be Evans. Keenan Allen at 1.66 yards per route run last year when he had the highest target share is absolutely abysmal, and then 1.34 yards per route run the year before. Only Shane Waldron and Greg Roman's dementia were feeding him the rock. I mean, I guess in that regard, maybe he could explode moving on from Greg Roman. But yeah, I just prefer if he just wasn't a factor. Jiri is live. Yo, everyone check out Jiri, but also head over to this link and hit the notify me button, because in 1 hour, I will be live with the Fantasy Football Garage. That's going to be super fun, super dope. And if you want to join me and the Candyman, we will be live in 1 hour's time. So it's time for me to log off. But Bukowski says, agree, the world needs to loosen up. Especially in I mean, if there's someone that needs to loosen up, it's you two mules. In prep for your colonoscopy, you need to be loose. That is for sure. But before we go, let's just talk about FK Cooler's team. Real quick. Had a James Cook, Jeremiah Love, T. Higgins, Colston, Loveland start. Let's see how he landed the plane. FK Coolers was in at the 7 spot, so right in the middle. It goes 3-5-9-3 with Mahomes, Stroud, and Geno Smith. Geno Smith, whoa. This is risky, bro. James Cook, Jeremiah Love, Tyler Algier, that feels great. Kimani Vidal, Najee Harris, you got the Chargers handcuff locked up with Vidal. Hopefully Najee is like maybe with Denver or something. Najee, I hope, goes somewhere else for the sake of this build. But who knows? Maybe he's backing up Gibbs and he's fucking fire. But wide receiver, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Mekhi Lemon, Wandale, Jawan Jennings, Debo Samuel, Pat Bryant, Tank Dell, Jalen Knoll. You mentioned you felt a little bit off about your receiver room when you took Pat Bryant instead of Rachaad White. And understandable. Personally, I'm kind of starting to just be out on the Christian Watson price. I think it's a little too steep for my liking personally. He has a lot of injury risk, but a good price on Mekhi Lemon, that's pretty sweet. And you do have him stacked potentially, allegedly, of course, with Mahomes, but I think that's an interesting pairing to have. And then Colston Loveland, Travis Kelce, Gunnar Helm. I think I might have swapped out one of Kelce or Helm for a running back there. I think with Loveland, you can stop it too, especially Loveland and Kelce feels fine. I know the risk of retirement makes it a little dicey, but if you gave me Aaron Jones or Tyjae Spears, or I suppose swap out Pat Bryant with Troy Franklin, just, to get interesting, and then take Rashad White there, I think I might have felt a little more comfortable with this team. Like, I think this team might have needed another running back, because I'm not a full believer in Kimani, and then Najee as the 5th feels a little dicey. And then the Geno click, I mean, it's the end of the draft, so everything's gross. But good luck, Coolers. I'll be honest with you, man. Not sure I envy the QB room at all. But running back is fire. The top of this draft is really good, but I think just maybe values might have evaded you. Running back, I think, is the one thing I might have swapped out. But that's a little nitpicky. Either that with the Rashad White's click. I fully expected you to go to Rashad White. And then that's pretty much it. But as long as these receivers at the top show up for you, it's a good team. Love the Colston Loveland tight end room. Gonna have a lot of flex contributions with that. But okay, that's gonna be it for me. An hour from now, I am going live with the Fantasy Football Garage. Hit this link, hit the notify me button, and when that launches, we will draft some fun teams together. I'm sure it's going to be a fun one. Really excited for that in 1 hour time from now. But seriously, though, any good news on Ayuk's knee? I mean, the knee I haven't really heard about. It's just like the head case situation. Until he signs, there's really no good news to mention. Like, he can be fully healthy and it still doesn't matter. It's not so much health as like the situation and his mindset going into the year. But anyways, I'm done. I'll see y'all in 1 hour on the Fantasy Football Garage. You can also head over to Jerry's channel. We went live with him multiple times this week, and it looks like he's live at the moment. So I'll see you in 1 hour. Peace out, everyone. Good night.